already looked at the US coins, let's now focus our attention on the world coins on offer during the August 2021 Stack's Bowers A&A sale that realized over $11 million. Let's start off with a few rare and exceptional medallic issues. First off, here is a remarkable medal issued by the Royal Mint to celebrate the investiture of Prince Edward as the Prince of Wales in 1911, following the succession of his father, King George V, in the previous year. The young prince is depicted on the obverse. He would of course go on in 1936 to become one of the only monarchs in British history to willingly abdicate the throne. The reverse depicts Caernarvon Castle in Wales. Only 129 of these pieces were originally struck, with the current example graded as MS66 by NGC that managed to sell at auction for $19,200. Another medal is now offered for your consideration. The Stack's cataloger chose to describe this medal as extremely rare and incredibly powerful, and to be frank, I can think of no better way to describe it myself. Created in 1846 for Colombia to celebrate the abolition of slavery in that country, as well as to honor a hero of the rebellion that led to independence from Spain, Simón Bolívar. The medal is known to exist in bronze to some extent. Only a handful of silver examples can be traced, but this is the only example in gold that I have ever heard of. Graded as SP62 by PCGS, the medal raised no less than $43,200 at auction. A gorgeous example of an Elizabethan gold coin is up for display now. A gold sovereign, which at this point during the reign of Elizabeth I, around 1584 to 1586, was fixed at a value of 30 shillings. The classic depiction of Elizabeth enthroned with scepter and orb is then opposed by the coat of arms encircled by the Tudor Rose on either side of this rare coin. NGC graded this example as AU53, to which it was sold at auction for the sum of $60,000. A large format, nearly 2.5 inches or 65 millimeters, gold coronation medal is next in line. The medal was created to the weight of 50 ducats. That's nearly 165 grams, or just shy of 6 troy ounces of pure gold, celebrating the coronation of Alexander II of Russia in 1856. A simple yet effective design of the minor crowned imperial arms on the reverse and the bust of Alexander II on the obverse, graded as NGC MS61. When it passed under the auctioneer's gavel, it managed to sell for $60,000. And since we featured the previous coronation medal for Alexander II, then it seems only fair to include the coronation medal of his son and eventual successor as well. From 1883, this was the gold coronation medal of Alexander III and Maria Fedorovna, struck to a slightly more modest format of 30 ducats and measuring 2 inches or 51 millimeters. It sold at auction, graded by PCGS as a specimen 62 for $40,800. Oh, and this is a wonderful example of obsidian coinage, or siege money, if you will. This was created for use in Magdeburg during the first siege of that German city in 1551 by the Prince Elector Maurice of Saxony over a dispute concerning the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. It is believed to be unique as the sole surviving example of its type, containing sufficient gold to the value of around 2 ducats. Graded and authenticated by PCGS with a grade of MS62, it raised a total of $66,000 at auction. One coin that completely defied expectations, and some might even say belief, is a silver Japanese trade dollar, the product of the Meiji currency reforms minted at Osaka in 1875. While this is a somewhat rare coin in mint state grades, where it can fetch several $1,000s with ease, what we have here is a coin with a proof-like designation and pervasive toning, achieving almost 10 times the pre-auction estimate for a coin graded as MS64 proof-like, and more than tripling the previous auction record for the same issue, which was set in 2019, to sell at auction for $72,000. And then, how about some shipwrecked Spanish gold? This somewhat crude gold ingot was recovered from the wreck of the Nuestra Señora de la Luz, which sank off of the coast of Uruguay in 1752 during a storm. Then, in 1992, hundreds, almost 1,000 in total, gold coins as well as ingots such as this were recovered from the ocean's floor, including this exact 735.6 gram gold bar, which managed to raise, in its turn, $90,000 at auction. Now, large-sized gold hammered coins are truly a sight to behold. The present example is from the Italian Duchy of Parma and Piacenza, under the rule of Odoardo Farnese, placing the date of mintage for this coin somewhere between 1622 and 1646. Only 3 such coins are known to exist today. The reverse depicts a Madonna figure with the infant Christ is cradled by Mary with 2 winged cherubim above supporting a crown. The piece is graded as PCGS EF details for cleaning and sold at auction for the sum of $96,000. So, the reign of William III, along with these co-regency with Queen Mary II, of course, represents a bit of a dividing line in British history, finally ending a nearly half a century of chaos from the Civil War to the Interregnum, the Restoration, and finally the Glorious Revolution, transitioning to a new era of relative stability. What we have here is a phenomenal 5 guinea peas dated 1701, almost towards the end of his reign. This coin, graded as MS61 by PCGS, more than doubled the pre-auction estimate once again for this coin to sell at auction for $120,000. From there, we have a fascinating example from the most interesting of numismatic chapters from the Philippines, from 1828 to just about 1837. Coins arriving in the Spanish Philippines from the newly independent former Spanish colonies of Mexico, Peru, Bolivia, Chile, Argentina, and so forth would be overstamped, in so doing defiantly rebuking the independent status of these former Spanish colonies in support of the Spanish crown. The overstamp seen on this piece has the letters F70 beneath the crown, indicating that they were struck during the reign of Ferdinand VII. What makes this coin unique, quite literally, as I believe it is the only known example, is the fact that the host coin is a minor denomination of a Peruvian 2 reales, graded by NGC as VF25. This specimen sold at auction for an astonishing $168,000. Now, later overstamped coins from the same series would bear the initials YII for Queen Isabella instead, who of course succeeded her father in 1834. The practice of overstamping these coins would end in 1837 when Spain finally recognized the independence of Mexico, Peru, Colombia, Bolivia, Chile, and other former Spanish colonies. This is an example of an Argentinian 8 reales coin overstamped during the reign of Isabella. Rated by NGC as VF30, the coin sold at auction for $48,000. So up now is a legendary rarity in the Scottish series, with only 7 coins known to exist in private collections today. It is a massive £20 gold piece from 1576, a coin of such impressive and unusual size that, according to Edward Burns, it was often mistaken for a medallic issue in previous generations. James IV, at the tender age of just 9, is depicted here crowned in full armor, supporting both a sword and an olive branch. This in concert with the cartouched inscription, as well as the reverse legend, which is actually a quotation from Virgil's Aeneid, where admittedly the translation gets a bit interpretive in places, but basically comes down to war on the oppressors and mercy to the downtrodden. This sends a clear and unambiguous message. The king's youth and relative inexperience should not be mistaken for weakness. For though peace is most desired, the kingdom will be defended if called upon to do so. The coin is the former Bridgewater Lavier specimen and is graded by NGC as VF20. It sold at auction for $180,000. Subscribe to WNN and activate notifications with the bell icon so you'll know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, stay safe, keep collecting, and of course have a fantastic day.